Chip got him to the tournament, conference coach of the year, but, as we talked to him this week, very humble.
Yeah, I mean, he is he's certainly, he said he's 40 years old. He doesn't sound like he's 40.
No.
He has a lot of exuberance from the call and everything like that. He sounds like a younger guy, but he's got all that experience, and yeah, he's done a good job with this team so far.
Gackel threw 31 pitches in that first inning, 21 for strikes. So it wasn't that he was missing. He did issue a 1 4-pitch walk, but these Charlotte hitters were aggressive, and they didn't waste any time being so.
I was going to say, it's not that he was missing in the traditional sense. He was missing in the zone. There were a lot of hittable balls during that half inning that really made that issue.
So it's Chandler Riley, the leadoff man, who gets to once again lead off, and that's why he's in this spot, because he's so good at doing so. Whenever he's the leadoff man of an inning this year, and that includes to start the game, he's reached safely 6 of 9 times.
That seems good.
That stat just went down a little bit. Gackel, much better start here.
Dosed him with a low breaking ball there, and that's a chase for a strikeout, and that's already his third of the game. So here you can see, as I mentioned, it just went low at the breaking ball and got a big swing. That ball, when it breaks like that, when it kind of has what they call depth that goes down, it looks a lot like it's going to stay in the zone. And that's why what they call pitch tunneling is so important, because everything looks like it's coming out of the same spot. And then you get that ball that dips down, and it's like, your eyes tracking it and saying that ball's in the zone.
Well, he has Bryce way off balance there.
And even then, that one is in the zone. Like, it's a good pitch to swing at. It's over the heart of the plate, down. But because that ball dips like that.
Now, it doesn't take you very long to watch Arkansas baseball, and it's been like this for years and years now. They don't self-inflict a lot. And the mentality, though, it goes a little bit deeper, though, than just saying, let's throw strikes. That pitch just misses. But Matt Hobbs, the pitching coach, one of the best in the nation. In fact, D1 Baseball's assistant coach of the year last year, he said, we're more focused on how many pitches can we throw in certain counts. Anybody can get up there and just throw strikes. That's not the hard part, as this one way back to the track. But playable for Justin Thomas Jr., and there's 2 away. The legend, Dave Van Horn, approaching 900 wins. It's incredible, the consistency in a league like the SEC year after year after year. It's one thing to be one of the top programs in the country, but everybody seems to have an off year here or there where they've got to fix some things, and it just hasn't really happened.
Yeah, and I think the crazy thing to me is this is 23rd season here, right? He's already got a legacy. His face is on the side of the stadium and all that kind of stuff.
This ball well hit to straightaway center by Logan Poteet. And second catch on the warning track this inning for Justin Thomas Jr. Gackel goes 1, 2, 3. We're headed for the bottom of the last meeting, 2019, and that ended up being an Arkansas victory. But coming into this weekend, Arkansas, we talked about Charlotte playing a tough schedule. Arkansas, they don't invite teams in that they hope or feel like they could just run rule and steal a series from with their eyes closed. They want good teams as well, and that's why you invite a team who's been to a regional in 2 of the last 4 years.
What's the old saying? Iron sharpens iron, right? It's just it's perfect. If you can face a team that is good and sturdy, then you can end up in a situation where you come out of that series learning more about yourself. I think that's what a lot of baseball season is. It's learning about the team that you have and what strings to pull. And so that's not going to happen if you're facing a team that's not going to compete and is not going to hang with you.
Aloy finds himself down 0-2. .15 pitches, 10 for strikes in the first inning. I don't think Sturma meant to miss that badly. I mean, purpose pitch way out of the zone is kind of a thing of the past. Not a lot of coaches or players are in favor of just wasting one, and that just foul by about a foot.
I think the wind hurt him there. It's kind of angle blowing towards the line now. I mean, it's a ball that was hit decent, but you get that pull side with that little hook and hung up in the air just long enough. It didn't miss by much. I don't know. What do you think?
When it's that small of a margin, and then you see what the wind is doing, then yeah, I think so.
It didn't help.
No.
Let's put it that way.
No.
We can't be sure that it hurt, but it certainly didn't help.
Pitch up in the zone, only able to battle it off. Small sample size this early in the year, but Sturma has been better against righties, though, than he was last year. Very shallow under it is Carson Bain, makes the catch.
We've got that high sky out here today. Not a cloud up there. They call it a high sky because if there's no clouds, there's no backdrop for you to see how high the ball is in the air. So you kind of just, it looks like it's just floating. And so that's why you see a lot of guys like Bain right there kind of have to squat down and get that ball. But that's great focus to be able to field that fly ball with the wind and everything else going right now.
Yeah, it is really howling out to left field. Cam Kozel, already 3 doubles on the year for Cam. Really took a big cut at that. Yeah, there's a good look. If you hit some, fairly deep down the lines, it could be real trouble for anybody trying to give chase. This part can play some tricks on you. And those high pop-ups.
Yeah, those seats out there past the bullpen could be well worth the money today.
Great crowd per the norm on a beautiful afternoon on this final day of February. Now, average attendance last year at Baum Walker, 10,106, third in the nation. And even these, earlier weekday starts, you're still going to get a great crowd. Sturma showing some good stuff here early as he gets Cam Kozel for out number 2 here in the second.
That's a good pitch right there, Josh. Just kind of going below the zone and getting a swing and miss over the top. And, Sturma, you look at the stats of him coming in. He gave up 7 earned runs in 7 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits coming into this game, only 2 walks. Opponents batting average .375. We have not seen anything close to that pitcher here today.
And a lot of that, for context, was in his last outing. He was really good on opening day. 2 weeks ago against Northeastern, got the win, 6 innings, only 5 hits, 1 earned run. Good control, only walked 1 with 4 strikeouts. The home plate umpire makes the call there on Helfrich, saying, yep, you did go around. Sky high into left center. Bain falls down but makes the catch anyway. A 1-2-3 inning for Mike Sturma and Charlotte. All 49ers here in the opening game of this series. They lead it 5-zip.
What's that?
Well, Gabe Gackel, much more efficient second inning. He went 1-2-3, although there were a couple of hold-your-breath moments on the final 2 outs on hard-hit balls. Cody Gunderson will lead things off. Gunderson struck out swinging first time up. And the early run support had not been there for Charlotte. They had to play catch up a little bit in a couple of their wins. It has just been close ball game after close ball game all year long. Except for on opening day, every game has been decided by 2 or fewer runs before their non-conference blowout over Longwood this week. So they had 5 in a row there where that's not decided until the final pitch, the final out. Take control for out one. Now the close games, it's kind of similar to last year for Charlotte. They had a ton of close ball games, especially in conference play. And so when the dust finally settled on 2024, they finished 24-34, and that, I think, had a lot of people going, that's not possible. That team is way too good. They probably felt the same exact way.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been around a few teams that have lost significant amounts of close games, and it gets to a point where when right now they're 2-3 in those games, you get to like 2-5, and all of a sudden, when those situations come up, you're starting to think, what's going to go wrong here? Or, are we going to actually be able to do anything this time around? Whatever. So for them to come out and put up 5 in the first inning and not really have to worry about that, just play their game, that's a huge advantage coming off some of those games.
1-2 now to Noah Furch. He's the one who had the homer in the first inning, his 3rd bomb of the year. Chopper. Aloy stayed calm but didn't waste any time either.
I was going to say, that ball almost looked like it kind of caught him behind the bag there, like it took an awkward hop, and he almost had to – it wasn't a real double clutch, at least to my eye it didn't look like, but he certainly had to reposition his hand on the ball before he got it out. But like you said, kept a cool head and still able to get the ball out and get it over to first for the out.
Brings up Thad Ector. He is yet to see a strike. Took a 4-pitch walk first time up.
So now he scored his first run of the season. Still looking for that first hit, though.
Hits one hard here. And that's down. 1 hops to the fence. Ector on his way to second. 2 outs, stand-up double.
There's been a lot of balls that have been hit hard so far this afternoon, and that one certainly qualifies as one of the harder hit ones. That was 104 off the bat, and gets a fastball. It's down and in to a left to a switch hitter batting left-handed, and he's able to just yank that ball into right field. And then the ease at which he turned it first, it looked like he was gliding into second, but he was moving pretty quick there. That's a guy that can run.
A smooth stride makes it look like he's not running that fast, is he? He is.
Admit it. You thought to yourself, I could catch him.
No way.
You thought I could win a foot race with him.
Carson Bain had to lose some of the catcher's gear, or the help with some of the catcher's gear last time up. But for Bain, we said it, team RBI leader. And what did he do first time up? RBI double. Gackle off the mound, and the side retired. A 2-out double left stranded. Second straight inning, not a lot of run for Gackle.
It's windy and it's hard to track the ball and it's sunny, but this is a tough game for the players.
First pitch, Souza grounds it to first. Gunderson takes care of it himself, one away. Only 30 pitches in so far for Mike Sturma.
Yeah, it's efficient, and you know what? That's going to help because if you're throwing less pitches, I realize this is redundant, like this is obvious, but you know, the less pitches you throw early on, and especially if they're not taxing, if they're not high-pressure situations, the more electric your stuff is going to be later in the game.
Swing and a miss from Justin Thomas Jr. First home run came in his first multi-hit game as a Razorback earlier this week against Grambling. Called strike three. Well, Sturma's got kind of that walk-off type of pitching style as well, kind of fades off to the first base side and was just able to cruise on around the infield after that.
Yeah, and located that one up too as it was going, you know, away from the right-handed hitter there. So that's a tough pitch to get at too. When you have something like that up and away, you've really got to stay down on it. You've got to let it get deep if you want to try and drive that ball.
Davalon hinted at bunt there. These are moments in the past that Arkansas has really been able to thrive upon and can be the difference in a ball game a lot of times. Is it seems like, you know, nothing's going to get going that inning, nobody on base, 2 outs, and then able to spark something. Davalon's that type of guy that can do that as a leadoff hitter. But he does so many things well. If you're playing against him, he just kind of makes you nervous all the time. Still ahead here, 3-1.
Ball easily got over the wall out there.
Eighth RBI for Davalon. Second homer of the year given up by Sturma. Shift is on here for Vahiva Aloy as well, although not quite as bad to the pull side as it was for Davalon one batter earlier. The awards list runs deep for Vahiva Aloy. It's a preseason All-American last year, Golden Spikes preseason watch list. Same thing for this year after an All-SEC season.
Obviously, he's looked really good at the plate so far this year. And with that double from back in the first inning, he's hit 414 now. Like you said, small sample size. Those, just to put it in perspective, he's hitting 393 when the game started. So that's a distinct shift in batting average.
Reaches out to get one here, and running on Noah Furch, able to make the play. Side retired. Good response from Sturma, but one big swing for the Razorbacks. They get a homer from Davalon, and they're on the board.
That guy is one of your mentors. That's got to feel huge.
And then, of course, the legend Mike Fox at North Carolina, where Woodard was a star. They made it to back-to-back College World Series finals, falling to Oregon State both times, but Woodard a great player. Great pitcher. Asked him this week if anybody on his pitching staff reminded him of himself. He said, no, they've all got way better stuff than I do. 1-2 now to Connor Marinac.
He's probably not giving himself enough credit in that situation because that's it's easy to be self-deprecating, I think, when you're coaching.
Now, without a doubt, this one hard hit, deep center field, going back off the top of the wall. Marinac looking to take third. Lead-off triple. Third extra base hit of the year for Connor Marinac.
It's another pitch that these 49ers were able to go down and get. That's in the lower third of the strike zone, but it's left out over the middle again. So you've got a breaking ball, and he just stays down on it. And here you can see, look, just a good confident swing. Got a breaking ball low and just gets into it, drives it. And, maybe on a different day where that wind's kind of blowing out towards left of center now, if you will, but.
Martin showed bunt, pulled it back, and then Marinac has to scurry back to third base. Infield pushing in here. Oh, you're down 5-1.
That was perfectly executed bunt. Kind of got into the Bermuda Triangle over there on the left side of the infield where Iredale, Helfrich, and obviously Gackel. Gackel sort of went for it and then pulled off. He was the closest one, went back after it. By the time he got there was just no play at first base. So that's like you said, perfectly executed squeeze play to just get that run back that they lost during the bottom half of the third inning.
That's a big spot for a guy to be in. I mean, this is Blake Martin, only his second start of the year. And it'll be, obviously, he handles the bat well and they trusted him in the spot, but it's still one thing to go out and do it, especially on a stage like this.
I mean, there's no two ways about that, but also the situation was kind of perfect for him because being left-handed in that scenario and putting that bunt down on the left side, it's a lot easier to you can angle the bat away from yourself and you can kind of just almost give it like a push bunt and get it down over there. Bunting is not easy. I mean, you have to stick your nose in there when a guy's throwing. I mean, we've seen Gackel get up to 97 a day, so it's not an easy thing to ask, but to go in there and execute it like you said, it's huge.
This one pops up. Helfrich was able to block it initially, but down to second goes Martin.
It's another one of those where that breaking ball just got buried, and Helfrich did a good job to get in front of it, but kind of, I don't know, caught in between, hops and everything like that, kind of bounced off and got away from him.
Lined into center field. Waved around, now late stop. And taken second on the throw. That is really good base running by Chandler Riley.
Yes, I was a little surprised that Martin didn't score on that one, especially after he got over. But at the same time, you're up 6-1 right now. So, having the runners and everything is really the spot you want to be in. There you see the line drive, center field, and Thomas is able to pick it up and get it back in. That throw bounced in. I held my breath for a second because it looked like Helfrich was really winding up to try and get that ball to second base and see if they could get an out out of it. But the juice really wasn't worth the squeeze on that one because with nobody out, if you fire that ball into center field, that could be 2 runs.
Yep.
So hanging on to it there is the heady play in that situation.
3 runs here in the 4th, and it's 8-1 now, Charlotte. And here comes Dave Van Horn.
I mean, he went after a breaking ball middle in there and hit it about as sharp as you can, right back up the middle. And when you hit a ball that hard and the infield is in, unless it's right at somebody, there's little to no chance that you're going to be able to get there. I don't care if it's a line drive or a bouncing ball. It's that's going to be a really tough proposition.
Gackle, but they are indeed. And so now the responsibility falls on senior right-hander Dylan Carter.
Yeah, he's not a small guy out there either, is he? I mean, he is built like a linebacker. 2-0 this season, hasn't given up a run. This will be his 3rd appearance of the year. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk so far. So we'll see if he can dial it up here and maybe add to that number on the left for the Hogs.
Well, Dylan Carter was one of the bright stories last year for the Hogs. Had a torn UCL in 2023. And when it first happened, Dave Van Horn said, I thought he probably won't pitch in 2024. We'll get him ready for 2025, but ended up not being the case. Here's Logan Poteet. First pitch, hammered to left field, and immediately Davalon was saying, I don't see it at all. It hits off the fence. Sliding safely into second, Logan Poteet, his 2nd double of the ball game.
And as that ball was getting out there, I'm really interested to see. Davalon, it looked like he put his hand up, and I couldn't tell if he was shielding. And we'll get a good look at it here. I couldn't tell if he was shielding his eyes or if he was making out like he was going to make the catch there to try and hold the runner. From that look, it looked like he was trying to hold the glove up like he was about to make the catch on the liner. So may have saved a little bit of extra damage there, just to get that glove up and act like he was going to receive that ball out there.
That's a good point.
It's incredible how some of these guys are just always thinking about that stuff, right? You or I probably wouldn't even think to do that.
Look out. Stayed inside and hit Gunderson, and they are loaded up now. Still no outs in the inning.
That's not going to feel great. That's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that just comes straight in on you. Now the bases are loaded, so you're in a spot of trouble here, in this 4th inning where it's already a 7-run game, and there's nobody out, by the way. So, you're really running aground here in this half inning.
Gets Furch to chase a high heater, 94. Next pitch is down to Furch. Going back to the 1st inning for this hitter.
Yeah, Furch, he really kind of broke this game open. A 2-run homer back in that 1st inning, and that was we talked about a no-doubter with the wind.
All 7 of Charlotte's home runs this year have been to left field. That was the 3rd for Furch. 2-1 pitch with the bases loaded up.
Here, if you're Carter, this is a huge spot because if you can get this out, you can get out of this inning with 1 pitch, having not let up a run. But you got to get this out.
And he does. Boy, after such a shaky start, you got to tip your cap to Carter there for being able to do just that.
Yeah, he hung in there and then it kind of expanded the zone a bit, got a breaking ball low. And how many times have we seen that today where it's just, you get that good breaking ball that looks like it's starting middle of the plate or maybe a little up, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out and the hitter just goes right over top of it.
Thad Ector takes a close first pitch. Crowd trying to stick up for Dylan Carter. 8-1 Charlotte. 11-2. Out hitting the Hogs thus far. Five hits this inning. Good job by Helfrich to keep it close. Two and two now. Ector's got some power. He showed that last time up with that double to right field. But this is a guy small in stature, but he is mighty at the plate. Guy that tied the Charlotte record with 3 homers in a game last year. Well, 6'2", but you know he's not like an overly imposing, big burly guy at the plate, but he's strong as can be when you look closely. Able to cover up with 2 strikes against him there.
Sometimes guys like that they get this insane amount of pop, and it could be that they're really whippy with the bat. It could be that they just have, they may have a particular area of their body that's extremely strong. You think about, they always talk about Hank Aaron's wrists. He was a wrist hitter and a home run guy like that. There's so many things that go into it. You would never think that some of the players that we've seen hit the amount of home runs that they've hit, that they'd be capable of that. And it's such a weird sport. Being able to hit a baseball as a human being should be impossible as it is. And then you got guys like this that just crush the ball.
Bases loaded, payoff pitch. Slow hopper towards first. They'll come home with it, get the force. That's a really good no hesitation play for Kozel. Your momentum's carrying you towards home plate. Everything's going right on that play, but it's one of those that you see so many times go awry.
And you can definitely take a deep breath there because, like you said, that it's so easy to get rushed through that play as a first baseman when you have Kozel coming up on the ball. He now has to make the catch. Don't forget, playing first base, you're not transferring and making an overhand throw very often, if we could just be, blunt about it. And so he's got to do all that, get the ball home, have it be accurate.
Charlotte batting around in a 4-run frame.
You can see here that one caught a bit too much of the plate, and he just stayed down on it. And I feel like I keep saying this. He stayed down on it, and he just drove it. And when you do that, good things are going to happen. If you have, any type of coordination, which every single guy on this field is probably coordinated better than most of the population. So it's an easy way to create rallies like this. When you're not trying to hit there's so many guys that'll get suckered into looking at those flags down the left field line where they're just blown out. And it's like, okay, well, most of this lineup is right-handed. You have 2 left-handed hitters and a switch hitter. It's easy to get suckered into, I'm just going to get the ball up in the air to left field.
Back to where it all started. And Connor Marinak, he's 2 for 2. RBI single in the first, and then that triple, of course, to start this inning. Just foul and just avoiding the feet of his teammate.
Well, if you weren't ready to run before, you are now, because that has woken you up. If you're Gunderson over there at third base, you're wide awake now.
Carter up to 96. Marinak able to battle it off. Coach Robert Woodard saying, if you've ever met anybody like from Philadelphia who's just kind of that, they've got that Philly aura about them, it's good emotions to have on your team. He's that guy. Tough, gritty. All helpful character traits when you've got 2 strikes against you.
Yeah, no kidding. To get up there and bat, and not only that, but to be in another crooked inning and have the bases loaded with the 2 outs and the 2 strikes. I mean, this is a pressure situation just as much for Carter.
Called strike 3. Got the outside corner. Couple of strikeouts out of the pen, but Charlotte a 4-run 4th inning.
That fastball has jumped and has looked live. So he has really found his footing here at Baum-Walker Stadium, and right now that mound seems just as much his as anybody else's in this game.
I mentioned he had a little bit of a tougher go last outing, but when you see that, I mean, especially with a guy with a lot of experience, you almost just think, he's going to have a good bounce back. That he's not going to let that define him.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of this game that's between the ears, and it's a failure sport, right? We talk about it all the time. If you're successful 30% of the time, you're going to be a pro. You're going to be a Hall of Fame. Like, it's just crazy to think about. Swing on it and drive it out near the video board in right center. I mean, we have seen some aggressive swings from both teams today, and the Razorbacks looking to get a few more off.
Iredale takes a first pitch strike. Was retired on a good defensive play his first time up. Hard hit ground ball, but a diving stop in the hole at short by Marinac. Early on, and especially if last few years have told us anything about Charlotte, if you're in a big deficit like this, they are not the type of team that's going to let you come back on them. They don't self-inflict with a lot of walks. They field it among the elite. They're not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. You're going to have to string together a lot of hits to beat them.
No, and I was going to say, I mean, when you're solid defensively, it gives you a lot of confidence. At the plate, that you're going to have a little bit of time as long as the wheels don't fall off. But as a pitcher, if you have a team that's fielding it at 98, 99% like they are, you're gonna throw it over the plate. It doesn't matter if they hit it, as long as you don't leave it middle and give up a bomb. The guys behind you are going to pick you up more often than not when they're that good.
Inside ball 4. Good take by Iredale. Only the second walk today for Sturma.
We got a chance. Well, you got a chance to talk to Coach Woodland about it, and I really liked the response. It's not about the byproduct; it's about the process. If we go through every single day and do things and coach the right way and train the right way and do our best. Like, they're not he said to you, it's not that they're coaching to be an elite defense. They're coaching to field their positions well and kind of really reinforce fundamentals. And the product of it is I think their defense was ranked 15th in the nation or something like that the last time I looked. So it is really impressive to see that it's not, they're not coaching specifically to that. They're just coaching, and the players are doing their jobs.
Yeah, and if you're concerned with the process, the numbers are going to be there, right? They are what they are. Oh, but like that play, as you see Iredale there, like the play he was retired on in the first inning, if that ball is not stopped in the hole at short, then who knows? Arkansas might have been able to score a run off that play, but they definitely extend the inning. And so Coach Woodard said, what doesn't show up in fielding percentage in the terms that we think about it in is are you making, the plays that aren't routine, like a diving stop in the hole that's short?
And they even talked about how they use data to kind of position defensively and make those outs a little more frequently. And that's across baseball at pretty much every level. But he's talking about batted ball, information. How often does a guy pull a ball? How often is he going back up the middle? Stuff like that. He's talking about pitcher tendencies, which a lot of people don't realize. If a guy likes to own the inside part of the plate against righties, well, those righties are probably going to pull the ball a lot. So, it probably would be good, as we've seen. I mean, you look right now, and Riley's playing to the shortstop side of the bag at second, and that's letting, Mernack slide over. So now that left side of the infield against the righty is covered. It's really tough to squeeze a ball through there.
Good work by the catcher, Logan Poteet.
But when you incorporate, all the data and the spray charts and everything that we've talked about, and then on top of that, you're coaching them just to be a solid defensive team. I think that if you've got that right mix, that's what takes a defense from being good to great.
Two and two to Kahio Aloy. Kahio coming off that game Tuesday against Grambling, 4 for 4 with a walk, a double, 2 runs driven in. 6 extra base hits in 16 at-bats entering the weekend. Sturma's got that good pickoff move because even in his delivery, as we talked about, he doesn't come up with big, high hands way over his head. So his pickoff move can be deceptive.
And he's done a nice job not to overuse it, too, which is if you give guys too many looks and you have a good move, they're going to be on it or they're going to shorten their leads. But the plays that have been made over at first base have been fairly close because they're, you can get tape and you can get everything. It's a little bit different live, right?
Well, the crowd really pleased with that from Aloy. And as fun as it is to watch the home runs that he's hit already, when you see at-bats like that, if you're taking a deep dive into the game of baseball, that's just as impressive and the makings of a great ball player just as much as the ones who can hit it far.
Yeah, and I think, they go hand in hand depending on what level you're at. And once you get up past college and you start getting into college baseball, but specifically when you get to this level, you'll find that the guys who have the best command of the strike zone a lot of times are also the best hitters on the team. They just have that innate understanding of that's a ball, that's a strike. And when you know a ball from a strike, you're going to know that's a strike to swing at. That's a strike that's in my, they call it nitro zone. You ever hear that one?
Yes.
Yeah, the nitro zone's my favorite thing. Maybe not the best place to be, though.
Well, the day is done for Sturma. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is for Charlotte. It's all visitors so far today. Back in Fayetteville, well, this Charlotte team, they've had a really good pitching staff under a head coach who was a great pitcher in his day. But you look, last 4 seasons have been the top 4 in program history for single-season strikeout numbers. The strikeouts per 9 inning, though, is the even better indicator, and they've been one of the best in the nation in that department.
Yeah, and if you think about it, all these strikeouts that they have here, I mean, you're over 2,000 strikeouts. Probably closer to 1,500 over the course of 4 years. And, it keeps guys off base. And that's part of the reason why the game has shifted so far to that side is because, even from the early 2000s, we knew, if guys get on base, there's a higher percentage chance they're going to score. If you don't get on base, you can't score.
Well, the new man on the mound is Chase Carson, so Arkansas will have to deal with a lefty. Another big guy, another veteran, senior from Topeka, Kansas.
And that'll be certainly a different look. He's only pitched 3 1/3 innings so far this year. 5 strikeouts, hasn't allowed a walk, only 2 hits. So this is a guy that's got a live arm coming out of the bullpen, and not only that, but he's kind of got that long, lanky look. And so, different side, looks like a little bit bigger of a guy. Definitely a different look for the Hogs here.
And kind of a moment, too, where you look at things, you say nobody out, there's 2 on base, 2 of the next 3 hitters are lefties. Now's the time to go ahead and make that move. Sturma might have had more to give for sure, but situationally, it doesn't matter to Cam Kozel. Stop sign given. Chasing runs here. Hogs don't want to try to force it.
Yeah, and it's the 4th inning. So you're chasing runs, you get the bases loaded, but there's that approach back up the middle just to kind of, meet that ball at a decent spot, let it get a little bit deep, and then drive it. That's never going to go out of style. If you can hit line drives to the opposite field, they'll find a place for you in this game for life.
No doubt. Beer hats are out. Ryder Helfrich. A little unsure of that first swing. Hogs hitting .353 with the bases loaded up this year. Helfrich. And give credit to Iredale and Aloy, who together combined to see 13 pitches before each taking walks. That helped sway the decision to get the starter out of the game. Well, if either one of those guys goes up there with big eyes and says, I'm going to hit a home run just like Logan Maxwell did to start the inning, you might just be doing Charlotte a favor. 1 pitch out. They didn't let Sturma off the hook, not for a second.
I've always wondered, what the impact of clearing the bases in a situation like this, or just another single or double and keeping guys on, does for a rally.
Big strikeout right there for Carson.
You can see here, he just goes right after him. Throws that breaking ball. Again, you're talking load in the zone to beneath the zone, sort of like right there at the knees. And he's able to get the swinging strikeout, and now we've got a pinch hitter coming in.
A scheduled batter would have been Nolan Souza, a lefty. And instead, the Hogs will go with Rocco Pepe. Redshirt senior, transfer from Fresno State. Coming off his best game as a Razorback on Tuesday, 2 of 3 with 4 runs driven in. Lot of experience for Pepe, approaching 200 career hits.
But he's gotten off 2 really good swings here to start off this at bat.
Pitch. Battles another one off. This is Pepe's first appearance as a pinch hitter. Arkansas has not used a lot of pinch hitting this year. 2 of 3 are the Hogs as a team.
Coming in off the bench in the middle of a game is one of the hardest things to do in the sport and still get a hit. Not only that, but you come in, you're in a pressure cooker situation, and his eyes had to light up right there because he got a hanger, and he knew exactly what to do. Kept it inside the bag, just down the third base line, gets it into foul territory. It's a base hit, brings home a couple of runs, and don't look now, but it's a 5-run game. Back to that whole shtick that we had early on.
Justin Thomas Jr. looking to keep it going. Struck out his first time up. Tailing off and falls in. Brings one in to score. Justin Thomas Jr. keeping it going.
They just keep replenishing the base runners so far. Nothing has left the yard. Everything has been pretty consistent swings. Look at that. That's the perfect pitch to swing on. Fastball, middle. You just get a good swing on it, and again, sends it to the other direction, stays in there, gets that ball to kind of fall in that gap out in right center, maybe right of center field. And Bain just couldn't get there in time, and that ball drops down in front of him. And not only that, but not to be too over the top complimentary, but Thomas went halfway because he saw the first baseman Gunderson vacate over by the bag, and so he went halfway over, following him, knowing I can get back no problem. I'm going to beat the catcher in a foot race if he has to go up there, and that's what he does, and almost got an extra base for his troubles, but does score a run to make it a tighter game.
Well, out to try to calm things down, Robert Woodard. Going back to the thought that you had, the question you posed earlier in the inning, what does it do clearing the bases compared to stringing together hits? You can hear it. You can hear the impact when it's 3, 4, 5 hits in a row. You're bringing the crowd to life, sending that energy through the stadium, into the visitors' dugout multiple times compared to one massive, but who knows? People a lot smarter than us to figure that one out, but they get into the bullpen again. I'll tell you who the new pitcher is when we come back. Another senior on the mound, Joel Sarver, comes in out of the bullpen, 6'1" out of Champaign, Illinois. He'll make his 4th appearance out of the 49ers bullpen this year. And who will he have to face right out of the gate? Well, we go right back to the top of the order. There's Charles Davalon, and nobody will soon forget what he did earlier, Sean.
No, back in the 3rd inning, got his first hit of the day, and he broke open the scoring for the Razorbacks in this game. Went deep to the opposite field, up and into the bullpen, rode the pretty stern wind out here, up and out. And, I mean, it's just one of those situations, again, like you have to make contact. If you make contact, good things will happen, and that's exactly what he did. So let's see with runners at the corners what he can do here in a game that it's not tight, but it's getting tighter.
It was 5-0 after 1. Charlotte tacked on 4 more in the 4th to make it 9-1, but Arkansas answering. 4 of their own and still going. Davalon, that homer is first as a Razorback. Drives in a run, and all of a sudden, it's a ball game again.
Yeah, that is it's good that Davalon was able to do that, but that throw to second, it looked like it hit Marinac like right kind of center mass, right? And it just deflected away and rolled away. Just a strange play there at second base. And it might be the sun again. And I don't want to speculate too hard, but right now you've got tough shadows if you're on the infield, and as a shortstop, that ball's coming from the shadows out into the sunlight to you at second base, and you could see on the camera there that sun's coming right in.
Uh-huh. Malloy stepping away, sure that pitch missed.
And these shadows, too, that are cast from the awning over top of the ballpark, they're going to cause problems for hitters now, too, because they're halfway between the mound and home plate.
The 9th batter of the inning. A lot of takes here. Payoff. Aloy 3 for 9 this year with 2 outs. And again, really making Sarver work here. Now Sarver's got good numbers. Opponents only hitting .238 against him. He has 8 strikeouts, no walks on the year, but an ERA above 5. Just some bad luck, it would appear, along the way, but certainly a trusted guy out of their pen. They've got more than one. Umpire in the field is going to call for a new baseball there. Aloy tosses the bat, channeling that aggression. And you know he's got a lot of it with the bat. He's ready to tee off at any moment, but very disciplined plate appearance. Let's go back to the start of the frame.
No, Logan Maxwell started this for center field and landed just underneath that video board in right center. His first one of the season, went 387, and that was the second run of the game. So the first 2 runs of the game for the Razorbacks both left the yard.
Representing the tying run. Charlotte got 4 in the top of this inning. Razorbacks already 5 across.
Just shaved the inside corner with that last pitch.
Maxwell, the all big.
This was, I don't know if it's bad ball hitting, but it's not great ball hitting, that's for sure. That ball looked like it was outside of the zone, down and in, and look at him. He just drops the bat head and flicks it to left field. Got a little dying quail that finds some green grass out there. And not only that, but they get aggressive with the base runners. And, well, ends up picking up another run. You still have first and second.
Brent Iredale walked earlier in the inning. The shift is on for him again here to the pull side after that hard hit ground ball in his first at bat.
That previous pitch was exceptional and just shows how tough Sarver is, because the pitch he threw was the exact same pitch. Well, it's the same location that he threw to give up that single to left. Came right back in the next at bat and started off with that, threw it for a strike, and then came inside on the next one. Now he goes up. So you're 1-2. It's always interesting to see the pitch mix and specifically for me, locations.
Whatever you choose to throw, just do it with confidence, right?
Absolutely. 100%. You know, if you don't believe in the pitch, it's probably not going to be a good pitch, right?
High and tight, 3-2.
They trimmed him back a little bit there, threw the fastball in. And now you have to wonder, was that purposeful? Again, like, I love thinking through baseball. And it's like, did you set up away, or are you trying to bait him into thinking you're going away? And, well, he didn't go away.
Hit by pitch, ball 4, same thing. In this circumstance, that is. And this is probably going to get reviewed.
Yeah, it looks like it got him right around the hand. It looked like a backup breaking ball that just kind of spun and never quite got to the plate.
Now, the reason why this is, something to take a look at, especially if you're Charlotte, is because if it hit the knob of the bat, well, then he's still at the plate, and the runners don't advance.
Well, this is why we have this system in place, right?
One of the 12 of the 14 total reviewable plays, this is one of 12 that the coaches can induce the review on. So we asked Charlotte head coach Robert Woodard if he was in favor of, a lot of the changes that we've now kind of grown accustomed to in college baseball, the review process, pitch clock, all of those things. And he said, whatever makes, the game ultimately, better, than he's in favor of. And most of these rules he has been in favor of.
And he even said he would be in favor of them kind of expanding the replay role like they do in the Arizona Fall League or Major League Baseball, where there's a few more options, I think, from the coaching side of things to try and control that side of it.
Let's go back. Another look here.
Hand or bat? Ooh. It's easy to see
close.
why this is under review, but for my money, it looks like the knob. I don't know what you see, but
It
looks like it's the knob right. It's tough because the knob of his bat is blue. It's like a dark blue, kind of blends in with the umpire, so it's a little tough to tell. But it looked like it hit the knob to me.
Well, the crowd has already made up their mind. They've got the beer hats on. This review means you got to take the hat off if it gets overturned, and they don't want to do that.
I was going to say, what's the protocol for that? Is there you just take it off and wait, or do you have to do, is there something?
There was a couple of people I noticed. They didn't, the first time Arkansas loaded them up this inning, they haven't taken it off since, so they're all in on it.
So it went from being a bases loaded thing to being a rally tradition?
Well, yeah. There you go.
All right. Oh, it's more. I'm glad that the fans were convinced because technically I wasn't wrong. I just said it hit the knob.
It looks like
looked
it.
like it.
It looks like it.
Trying to save face right now.
Hey, you know what? You didn't shy away from what you thought it was, and for the record, to me, it looked like it hit the knob as well, but in any event, they are loaded up with 2 outs. To probably the guy that you least want to face on this Arkansas team based on what they've done this season, Kuhio Aloy, who's got 3 homers.
Yeah, I think you're running into, this is sort of the stretch of guys, the end of the stretch of guys. You really don't.
This crowd had all the belief in the world in Kuhio Aloy.
That pitch a little down, but very touched. And who would have thought this entire time when they went down 5-0 in that first inning that we would be talking about a 9-run inning to put them back out in front? I should say to put them out in front for the first time today.
Right. Came into this inning trailing 9-1. Now they've scored 9 and have a 1-run lead.
Well, he's 2 for 3, and all of a sudden the sleeping giant's been woken up here. You've got, I mean, it's a 10-run inning right now, and you're up 11-9. I don't think we could stress that enough, that this is an impressive stretch here for the Razorbacks to get into the lead and now extend that lead.
Against 3 different pitchers. Here's Ryder Helfrich. And Mike Sturma, the starter this afternoon. He went 3 batters deep into this bottom of the 4th before they handed it off to Chase Carson, and now it's Joel Sarver. Working against his 7th batter now.
There's a little bit of movement in that bullpen out there, but there's nobody up and throwing either.
Grounded towards the hole at short. And safe is Helfrich. That's a really athletic play, though, by Marinac to even give himself a chance to get the out.
It is, but, I mean, Helfrich 0 for 2 on the day before that. And that's one of those where it didn't really make a great sound off of the bat. And, it kind of, it just sounded like it didn't get all the barrel there to me. But for him to be able to get it over there, and then, the catcher smelling a hit on a ground ball hit to short, hustled up the baseline right there. It was huge.
Rocco Pepe, he pinch hit for Nolan Souza earlier in the inning and gets pegged with the first pitch. 54th time in his career he's been hit.
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like it hurt very much. He is pumping the fist. He looked into the dugout, was excited. I don't think that I have ever been hit by anything and been that excited afterwards.
Charlotte in the top of this frame brought 10 to the plate. And the next batter for Arkansas will be the 16th hitter of the inning. In terms of time, we're going to have to go back and figure out how long this 4th inning was.
It might be better off just to say long.
Yeah.
Because right now you've got 14 runs between the two teams just in the 4th. And just to make sure that we're pointing certain things out, Charlotte has still out-hit Arkansas.
It's bizarre. Hard hit to short. Marinak's got it and goes to second for the final out to retire the side. But the Razorbacks explode. 10 runs in the fourth inning, and they've got a 2-run lead. See that the complexion of this game changed quickly, but it was not a quick process. It was very much take its time, but here we are starting the fifth, and the Hogs have the lead 11-9. There's the offense combined in that fourth.
The numbers out of that inning are staggering. I just did a quick count. So before the fourth inning, the Razorbacks had 2 players with hits. Coming out of that inning, they have 8.
Takes everybody.
I think that if you're a Razorbacks fan, that's pretty good.
All the attention now on the new lefty, Colin Fisher, coming on to pitch. Sophomore goes 6'3", 225. And he rings up Blake Martin. Good way to start for Fisher.
It's a great start. Anytime that you can get in there and get your first punch out, it's, that's a good, clean start. Here you start a breaking ball inside, kind of front door him, and our home plate umpire, Chuck Pack, giving the old hee-haw. Strike 3.
So Arkansas in that bottom of the fourth, they pinch hit for Nolan Souza with Rocco Pepe. He stays in the game, is the first baseman, and the first baseman, Camp Kozel, is now playing second.
Feels like that change at the plate happened in another game. It feels so long ago.
In for strike 2. Chandler Riley 2 for 3 at the top of the lineup today. Scored a couple of runs. Didn't miss by much. But the count full now. A walk is the only base runner that Fisher's allowed in 2 relief innings this year. Called strike 3. Riley trying to sell it for ball 4.
Well, after that inning that we just got through, to see a couple of strikeouts in a row here I think it's a nice change of pace, and they just kind of hooked that outside corner. And that's one of those where if you're a pitcher, you love to see it. If you're a hitter, you may very well turn around and go, I can't even swing at that pitch.
Dawson Bryce had a key moment in that fourth inning. 2-run hit. In for strike 2 with the aroma of kettle corn flowing through the stadium. Fouls one off. You ever wonder if, anytime there's a food smell that makes its way through, you wonder if the players think about it? Like if they can't help but their senses take over and say, hey, it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs, but
Gosh,
smell
that
kettle
hot dog
corn.
Smells great.
It's a tough play. Aloy, nearly made it. Pepe came off the bag. I don't know if it would have been in time anyway. Bryce quickly back on the bag. He thought he was out.
That would have been, I mean, just for him to get the ball over there and make it a close play, spectacular. I mean, and you can see it here. I mean, he has to go to his right, in the hole, deep, outfield grass, gets off of the wrong foot to make that throw, fires it across, and then, again, we talked about it, Pepe was coming off the bench. Now he's got to make a dive like that.
First pitch, two-hopper to third. They go to second in time. Good job by Kozel. Couple of new guys fielding right side infield positions and making plays. Hogs get out of the inning unscathed.
Ở bên đây ở tối có sang không? Tối sang đây đi. Sang đây ăn cơm xong rồi đi làm cũng được. Chính cơ kêu tay khác. Đúng không? Chính cơ đấy. Kêu tay khác. Cơ khác không được. Phải là gì? Chúa